All right, folks, to reach financial independence, I got a budget. So let's plan out how May is going to look for me. And as always, this is subject to change, but I'm bringing that up especially for May because there's going to be possibly some changes on both the income side as well as the expenses side of my budget. What I mean by that, I won't leave you in suspense. I have not yet, as of the time that I am filming this video on April 22nd, I have not yet bought a laptop for myself to use for my YouTube channel, and that's a big expense that I was thinking I might buy in April. But I still haven't done it yet, and now I'm waffling on it even more because on the income side of the budget, I'm getting a little bit nervous, y'all. I thought working in healthcare that I had one of those jobs that being essential and being in healthcare, there was no chance that my hours would be cut or that I could be furloughed or that my income would go down really in any way. But as it turns out, we got an email in my work email last week asking for voluntary furloughs from my department. And rumor is, as of this week anyway, that there's one person that's volunteered, but nothing's been set in stone yet. And I don't know how many they were looking to get, and I don't know what the potential consequences might be if we don't get enough volunteers for the furlough. I don't know if they're going to start cutting everyone's hours equally. I know some of the other girls in the department have had their hours cut. I have not as of yet, but y'all, anything could happen. So as of right now, nothing has changed with my income, but I'm starting to get a little bit nervous that it may. And that was not something that I could have foreseen coming if in fact my income does go down a little bit. So now it's making me hesitate about that larger purchase. Also, with everything that's happened with this pandemic, I have pretty much decided that I am upping my emergency fund. I have always been able to cash flow larger expenses as they come up, and by larger for me, I mean, you know, up to $1,500, I could cash flow that in a month, maybe even $2,000 really. But I've decided that instead of just having that as an option in my cash flow from month to month, I really do want to get a nice emergency fund built up. And honestly, I need to take a look at doing a bare bones budget. I may do a video about that, what a bare bones storm mode budget would look like for me. But I do want to get an emergency fund built up. And I think that a good number for me to feel comfortable would be $10,000. That is a lot of money, and that would probably, I think, just not doing a bare bones budget yet, I think that that would be enough money for me for probably 5 to 6 months worth of bare bones expenses. Possibly more if I really stretched it out. But with everything that's going on, I think that that would be a number that I could sleep well at night and not have to worry. So there's that. Let's actually get into the May budget for me, shall we? For my budgets, I use Google Sheets. That is the format that I personally prefer. And the way I have mine formatted is that I start with my income at the top of my budget. The first column is what I am planning on. That's the planned budget. The second column is the actual. As the month progresses, I fill in the actual column. So for this video, we'll be paying attention to my budgeted amount. And for May, I'm expecting to bring in about $3,600. And that is if my hours at work do not change. For bills and spending, I put my regular bills at the top of the budget. Firstly is the mortgage payment. Again, there's talk of a stimulus package that would do away with mortgage payments, but as of right now, I'm just going to budget as usual. And my full mortgage payment with escrowed PMI taxes and insurance is $687 every month. After that is my power bill, Duke Energy, We are budgeting for about $160 there. Hopefully we'll come under. We did for April, so that's good. Next is my water bill, budgeting 60 bucks there. I upped it from $50 because we do have a garden outside now that my husband has planted, and we are watering it every morning, sometimes at night too. So I do expect our water bill to go up some. I'm hoping it won't go over that $60 though. After that, internet, $110.68. We recently got internet here at our house, and I think that that is what the exact amount is going to be from month to month now. After that, gym, $23.06. I used to go to Planet Fitness, and they actually are closed everywhere right now, and they automatically stopped charging people for their memberships. But I don't know when they're going to open back up. So I thought that I would just leave that in the May budget for now, just in case they do try to reopen some locations, and better to have it budgeted for than not. After that, gas for my car, I always budget $100. I usually come in a little bit under there. And with gas being really cheap right now, I probably will come under, but I just leave it at $100. That gives me a little bit more cushion elsewhere in the budget if I need it. And lastly, I have budgeted for a Chewy order in May. I budgeted $230 for that. I usually buy a few bags of dog food at a time. I get 40 pounds of dog food, usually 3 or 4 bags. I'll probably just get maybe 2 or 3 this time because they are running out of dog shampoo too, so I'm gonna have to get another thing of that. And I buy it a gallon at a time because we do have a giant Irish Wolfhound, and we go through lots of supplies with him. So in total, my spending for May, I am budgeting to spend about $1,370. My next section of the budget is my debt section. As of this moment in time, I only have 2 debts left, thankfully. I have got my student loans that I have refinanced through Earnest. The interest rate keeps dropping on them. It is now at 2.81%, which is great. My student loans are private student loans, so they did not qualify for that 0% interest rate that's going on for people's federal loans right now. So I am still paying some interest, but thankfully, since I did choose a variable rate when I refinanced with Earnest, the interest rate is really low right now, so I'm happy with that. They automatically take out payments from my checking account on the 17th every month, and this month is going to be $489.76. My other debt I have is my car loan, and the usual payment every month for that is $386. So in total for debt, I am planning on spending about $876, and that is my minimum payments for my debts. Right now, I am choosing to focus on other financial goals rather than pay my debt aggressively. And that brings us to the next section of my budget, which is my savings and investing section of the budget. This is my favorite section of the budget. I love seeing this part of it instead of just focusing on my spending and my debt every month. This part really allows me to see my full financial picture and progress that I'm making from month to month. Starting at the top here, I have a taxable brokerage account with M1 Finance, and I now invest $25 every Monday instead of $10 every Monday. And in May, there are 4 Mondays, so I will put $100 total into my taxable account with M1 Finance. Next is my Roth IRA with M1 again, and I am not planning on putting anything into the Roth in May. Again, it's another thing that is subject to change. I really was hoping by this point in 2020 that I would be aggressively funding my Roth IRA, if not nearly done with it. But y'all, the financial goals that I set for 2020 at the beginning of the year have pretty much all either changed or just been thrown out the window. You gotta be flexible in your financial independence journey, and that is what I'm trying to do. And right now the struggle for me is balancing savings versus investing. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I do want to get my emergency fund built up, but I feel like as long as I am working, then I should be able to get that built up slowly over time. And I could choose to focus on funding my Roth IRA while the markets are down and slowly build up that emergency fund at the same time. But anyway, as of right now for May, I have planned to put all of my extra money towards my high yield savings account with Betterment to work on that emergency fund. So for the Betterment savings, I'm planning on putting in $1,200 in May. Next is another cash savings account I have with a local credit union. It earns me a couple cents interest every month. And lastly in this section is my 403B retirement account at work. I'm expecting my contributions to be around $430. May is a regular 2-paycheck month for me. And I expect my employer matching contribution to be about $250. So in total, if all goes according to plan, I should be putting in about $1,900 in May towards my savings and investing goals, which is really good. And that leaves my total spending for the month around $35.50, and I should have about $110 left over to roll over for the next month. I always try to leave enough in my budget that rolls over into the next month to cover whatever M1 Finance is going to automatically take out of my account for my taxable brokerage account. That way I don't have to think about whether I have enough in my checking for them to automatically take out $25 every week. All right, that really is about it for the May budget plan. Like I say, things may change. And as always, I will keep you guys updated. I may have a bare bones budget coming out for me sometime in the future. I will have to schedule that in somewhere, but it will be a good thing to have just in case I need it. The more information I have, then the more in control that I feel, and the more in control I feel, the less stressed out and anxious I feel. So that's a plus. Y'all let me know how you're doing down in the comments below. I know this is a really weird, tough time for all of us. I am really still just grappling with the fact that my income could go down. I never would have expected that. In fact, I know that a hospital system near me has cut everyone's paycheck by 20% across the board. And my company that I work for has not done that yet. And like I say, my hours have not been cut yet, but I am expecting that that could be a real possibility for May. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know how you're hanging in there down in the comments below. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.